Hello everybody, my name is Peter Rising. I'm a Senior Technical Consultant for Softcat plc and a Microsoft MVP. And I have the pleasure today to be hosting the Festive Tech Calendar 2020 Microsoft Teams Christmas Calendar Edition. This is an event for the community, by the community. So what we're going to do today is we're going to have a traditional sort of festive advent calendar. We're going to have 12 doors, which we're going to open in turn throughout this session. And behind each of those doors will be a fantastic community member who's going to share something with us all about Microsoft Teams. I, for one, am not one for huge drawn-out introductions, so without further ado, let's get straight on with the session. So we'll move on and let's see what's behind door number one. Who is it going to be? Alrighty, let's do it. It's Isadora Katanich. Let's see what Izzy has to share with us.
Hi everyone, and thank you for watching, listening, or following the Festive Tech Calendar 2020. It's an absolute honor to be part of the session about Microsoft Teams. So I would like to take the opportunity to actually thank the team which is behind Microsoft Teams. Thank you for all the innovation, all the engineering work, the design, everything that you have done in 2020 to make it possible for us to stay connected. We stayed connected with our friends, with our family, with our colleagues, with the community from around the world. So once again, thank you so much for everything you have done, and I cannot wait to see what's coming in Microsoft Teams in 2021. Wish everybody Happy New Year, and best regards from Isadora Katanich here in Basel, Switzerland.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much, Izzy, and I could not echo that more. Thank you so much to everyone in the Microsoft Teams team who puts in all the hard work and makes Teams the excellent product that it is for us. So crucial in the year that we've just had. Fantastic. What a way to get started. Okay, door number one is open. Let's have a look and see what is behind door number two in our Teams Christmas Advent Calendar. And it's Vesku Nopenen. Vesku, over to you. What have you got to share with us?
Hello everyone. Welcome to the Festive Tech Calendar by the community. My name is Vesku Nopenen, and I'm going to show you around some SharePoint spaces in a really quick, fast-paced manner. So as you know, you can add SharePoint spaces to the SharePoint site already, but hopefully you are aware that you can add them to the team as well. And it's really handy if you just go ahead and start adding using the new SharePoint. Where's my SharePoint there? App, and you can look around and you can see all the spaces there as well as this showcase. It was just added by adding a SharePoint page. And in Teams, you can of course go to the full screen if you like. And yeah, we can see 3D objects there and can move them around. But this is not a very Christmas theme right here. It's very corporate stuff, full with corporate stuff, so we can add some fun there and go into the SharePoint Space website where we can go ahead and start editing this. So let's hit the edit, and we can see there's of course lots of content there in every place. Okay, we don't really worry about that, but instead we go ahead and start adding objects with this plus, and we can go ahead and search for 3D object. And we just find a place for that, and we don't have any recent models. But what is fun is that you have your organization models here and also the online 3D catalog. Let's see if they have added anything based on Christmas. Yes, it looks like a nice set of candles there, and we can insert it there. And on the bottom side of the screen, you can see the controls that you can use to move around the objects. You can use your mouse, but it's not really that great. So we can choose the distance and we can choose the height. And of course, going and using this, putting the values there, it makes it a lot easier to kind of elevate them or just put them to the a lower part or move it around this canvas. And we can do some tilting and we can do something else. And of course, we want to add another image which is on different location there, and we have the access to stock images and just search for the Christmas. All right, there's some winter scene. Yes, that's really nice there, and we can insert it in. We can see the picture there. Again, we can go ahead and put it higher there if we like, and move it around in the canvas to the better location, and adjusting the distance from us. And of course, I really like to use the tilt features, like let's make it very, very kind of suitable for to the other side. You can see how it moves around. So it's like a paint that's watching towards us. And we can choose the size as well, really easy. And if I republish this space, okay, it's been republished. We can, of course, look around in here. We can open the picture. We can open the candles. We can move them around. And the other model was an animated 3D model. So it's a real nice experience. And it's also working in Teams. We just refresh the environment and can then look around where did we put our new objects here. There they are. And of course, when you are building the spaces, you can add jumps to different spaces, so you can create so-called rooms, put in the information. And this is a really nice way how to highlight the information in a new or present information to the other employees in a new innovative way, which is fresh compared to the evergreen PowerPoint or PDF or pages. So this is really fun to explore. This is my tip to you. Use the SharePoint spaces. It's really fun. Thank you.
Oh, amazing stuff. Thank you, Vesku, very, very much. SharePoint spaces in Teams. I've got to have a play with that. It looks so cool. Okay, a really strong start there. Doors number 1 and 2 from two of our great Microsoft MVPs, Isadora Katinich and Vesku Nopen. Thank you so much. More to come though. Let's crack straight on. Let's have a look and see who and what is going to be behind door number 3 in our team's festive Christmas calendar. What's it going to be? It's Microsoft's own Andrew Kemp. Andy, take it away.
My name's Andrew Kemp and I'm a senior consultant at Microsoft. I'm here to talk to you about the festive tech calendar and the features I've been using the most for the last few months since working remotely. Now, we've all been there, we're all guests of Teams, we're guests of multiple tenants, and we switch between tenants in our Teams app. But one thing that's always, we're conscious of is if we're not in the current app or current tenant we should be in, we may miss a message, miss a reminder, or miss something. So let me show you what I've been doing for the last few months. So here I am in my tenant. I'm part of my team, but then I'm also part of another team as a guest. So I can switch between the two quite easily and work between the two tenants. But if anything goes on in my main tenant, potentially I'll miss it. So the latest thing what I've been doing is using what's known as a progressive web app, which means you can pin it to your taskbar and be part of two different tenants and have the app open twice. Simple thing to do is Edge Chromium, go to the Teams web app. Once loaded, you can then go to apps and it gives you the option to install this site as an app. So obviously I've installed it there before, but you install it as an app, give it a name, and it then installs and gives you an icon down here. And then just a simple thing, right click, pin to taskbar. What this then means is you can be logged into multiple tenants, multiple teams at once and still have the app open in several instances. I've been finding this really useful because some of the customers I work with, we do stuff on their tenants, other customers we do stuff on my tenant, and it just becomes a bit confusing at times when you're switching between your tenants. So this feature I found really, really useful. The other advantage of this is you can then install things like the actual Office as a progressive web app. So what we do, apps, install this site as an app. This site can be installed as an application. So install it. There you go. You got your Office. Pin to taskbar. And then from this, you can then create your Word document or Excel document. Granted, it's not the full fat client, but it does a pretty good job. This is great if you're running an F3 license. And then finally, one of the other features I've been using a lot of is the up arrow. So if I make a typo or something, so I made a typo. See, didn't have to go to edit there. So if I close that, discard. So if I want to, that's broken in now. But if you want to edit your message, that's probably easier if I actually do it directly in the chat. So to do that, I want to edit it. Sometimes you'll just go to that, click on the ellipsis and edit. But once you're in the text box down here, just press the up arrow and it lets you edit it there and then. A lot easier and quicker. That's my festive tip for the year. I hope you all have a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I know 2020 has been a bit of a tough year for us all, but here's to 2021 and all the best, and see you in the new year. Bye now.
Oh, amazing, Andy. Thank you so much. Some top tips there from Andy Kemp of Microsoft. Progressive web apps. I know I'm going to be checking those out. They're going to be so useful for many of us who find ourselves in and out of so many Microsoft 365 tenants on a regular basis. Fantastic. Okay, let's move on. Let's keep up the pace. Door number 4. Who is behind door number 4, please? It's Al Early, Microsoft MVP and Solutions Architect at CPS. Take it away, Al.
So welcome to a Christmas special. So 3 minutes, 4 minutes, maybe even 5 minutes, just to show you one of the favourite things that I've found over the past year. So starting off, we're in sensitivity labels, Purview, a nice new thing, something to look forward to in the new year. But what I've done here is I've actually put together some labels around sites and groups. Now this is a feature that's come in which basically allows us to choose sensitivity labels, and actually when we put them together we can actually say that we want to manage sites. So if I just select the sites and groups here, when I come down to the sites and groups section I can choose how I want to configure these. So choosing whether it's privacy or device access. If I actually come into this for the privacy and external user access, I can control, does it need to be a public site, does it need to be a private site, or can I let the user choose when they actually create a new team. Now the great thing here is external user access. I can actually flick this switch, and if I turn it off, that means that nobody can add any guest users into this particular team or site, which is great. It means that by default I can actually lock down all of these sites that have this particular sensitivity label, make sure that they are not shared with external users. When I get to now external sharing is a different thing. So I've got different controls here. So this is sharing files within this site. So I can actually control how I set the file sharing permissions. So I can control whether I allow guest users in, and then how I actually control the sharing. Can anybody have access, even with an anonymous link? Or do I want to lock it down, only people in my organisation? And then you can also say, if it's an unmanaged device, can I lock them out? Do I give them just limited web-only access, or do I block their access? So I've got some controls in here that I can apply to a whole site without having to actually think about conditional access or any of those other tools that are available to us in this space. So what does this look like for users? So if I flip over to a different screen, I have my user for this environment. So if I come into Teams, so here I am in Teams. Now when I come to create a new team here, I go through the usual process. I click on Create Team, I get the usual options here. Now I'm going to go from scratch here. Now the first thing that you'll notice is that I've got the option to choose the sensitivity. So when I click on this, I see the 4 levels of sensitivity that I've published. So if I click on Public, it gives me the choice, because I said that the user can choose whether they want to have a private or a public team. If it's external, they also get the choice, and I get the description here. So it's create a team or site which can have external users or guests or content shared to external users. Now if I choose internal, then this has to be a public team. So I've got an internal one, and it's set to only allow public teams, and if I choose confidential, then it's a private team. So I've got those 2 choices, and it gives you a little notice to say the team with the sensitivity label must be private. So I've got internal confidential, and I've got external public, and I can control what they look like. So if I come and I create my confidential team, so I'm going to call it, let's call it Test Confidential, just to be really inspired. Can't even spell now. Confidential. There we go. And I will create it. And what we'll notice is that once this team's actually been created, then we'll get, so I'm going to skip adding users into it. What we'll get is up here it's got team, so it'll have the I to say that it is only available to team members, but it also has confidential sites and groups, so it's got that sensitivity label up there in the top right hand corner, which is really useful. So if I go into other ones, I can see, this one might be all employees, this one might be all employees as well, so I can see that those have other labels, but I can see my confidential sites and groups. And in here, if I try and actually add users in, so if I come in to manage the team, and I come to my requests, so my members and guests, and I add a member, then actually if I start putting in an external user, I won't be able to, and it won't allow me to put in an external user. If I put in an internal user, then it, as you'd expect, it will find an internal user, and it will allow me to share. So great little tool. For 2020, that's been one of the nicest things that I've seen come through in terms of the security around Teams, is to be able to add in the sensitivity labels and actually control some of the conditions and the access for the teams, just as part of the creation process that users experience. So I overran slightly, but there you go. Nice little tip for anyone using Teams in the new year, and with that, have a great Christmas and New Year, and hopefully I'll have more information on this coming soon.
Nice little tip indeed, Al. Thank you so much indeed, Al, early there, talking about sensitivity labels in the context of Microsoft Teams. Very powerful, very useful, love it. Okay, let's see who we're going to have behind door number 5 in the Teams Christmas calendar. Let's take a look. It's Microsoft MVP Amanda Sterner. Amanda, let's see what you're going to talk about.
Hi. Today I thought I would share my favorite, I think it's my all-time favorite Microsoft Teams tip. So let me open the app here and let's dive into Teams. And this is a really simple thing that I think it improves the usage of Teams a lot.
And nobody likes a messy place. Nobody likes a messy room. It's always better when it's a little bit clean and a little bit organized. And of course, that's the same for teams. So I'm just going to show you my 3 favorite things to make it a little bit cleaner amongst your teams. So first of all, here we can see I have a bunch of teams, and I can imagine that now that we've worked with Microsoft Teams for a couple of years, there should be quite a few teams, and I've noticed that people aren't super good at archiving them and deleting them. So let's try to make it a little bit better looking. So first of all, let's hide the old teams that we're not using anymore, but we don't want to leave them. I mean, at least I get huge FOMO, and I seldom leave teams. So let's scroll down here to this team called Group Project Falcon. So the ellipsis and hide. It's gone. Fantastic. Already a little bit cleaner. And the next thing is pin your favorite channel. So for example, here I have this amazing team called Amanda Corp. And it is a nice team, and I like all the channels, but to be frank, there's the extra spicy things that's in the general channel. So if you press the ellipsis for the channel, and then we can pin it. And then it will appear here amongst my pinned channels. So it will be easy, within reach, just my favorite things. But I'm going to save Amanda Corp here. Let's pin one more. So I'm going to pin the general for a little team site, pin it. And then actually, now that I have the pin here, I can actually hide this one because I don't care about the other channels. So as you can see, clean, nice looking, 2 thumbs up. And the last thing I would like to show you is that for a long time, I thought that my teams here, they just ended up in some sort of alphabetical order, but that's not the case because it isn't. So what we can do here is just click on the team, and let's make this appear, and then we can drag and drop and change the order. This is also for the pinned channels, so makes it really easy to make this team view look the way that I want it to look. Clean, neat, nice. Good luck. Have a Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Bye-bye.
Top tips, Amanda. Thank you so much. And I noticed there you had your emojis as your in your team's channels, which I know you love. Fantastic stuff. Amazing. We're getting through. We're up to number 6 now. So let's waste no time. Let's see what's behind door number 6 on the team's Christmas calendar. It's Steve Goodman, Office Apps and Services MVP from Content and Cloud. Let's see what you're going to talk about for us today, Steve.
As the festive season approaches, people have been hoping for breakout rooms to arrive in teams, and like a virtual Santa Claus, it's arrived in a sackload of December updates. Breakout rooms are a feature that mirrors real-life meetings, workshops and classrooms, where the teacher or organizer runs the main workshop, but people need to break up into small groups to work on a task that's been set. You'll want to use breakout rooms in these scenarios. Firstly, schools, when the teacher sets an assignment for pupils to work on together. In person, this would have been maybe at the same tables together, but in teams, they'll go into breakout rooms. Or team away days and training sessions. You'll probably recognise this scenario. Imagine the whole team or department have come together for an away day at a hotel conference centre. The room is set out with round tables, each with flip charts. Your lead for the day asks you and your table to come up with a solution in 10 minutes after explaining the task for maybe the last 30 minutes. And then, after that 10 minutes, you're all going to present back to the group. If you can't do that in person, then use breakout rooms or conferences and user groups. It's difficult with user groups and conferences to mirror that energy that you get in person, where you go to breakout sessions, everyone is called back to the main expo area or to see those keynote sessions. Now, you can use breakout rooms in Teams to mirror that for small conferences or user groups so that people can socialize in smaller groups or go to breakout sessions that they've registered for without losing people into channel chats or leaving a team meeting never to return. Now, breakout rooms are easy to use. To get started with breakout rooms, look for a square within a square icon in the meeting. This signifies that smaller meetings can be broken up out of the main one. When you create breakout rooms, you'll have the option to choose the number of rooms you need and either automatically assign people to the rooms or assign people manually later. Whatever you choose, the rooms won't start until later once you hit the start button inside the meeting. Now, one top tip. If people will regularly join sessions with breakout rooms, then consider renaming your breakout rooms from the default. Because a breakout room is effectively just another meeting, and the meeting chat that gets saved in Teams will use the room name for the chat, like room 1 and room 2 and so on. So if you want people to be able to go back and find that chat later on, renaming each breakout room to something meaningful for your meeting will really help them. When you start breakout rooms, the really cool thing about this new feature is that as the meeting organizer, you stay in control. So pressing start will automatically move people into their assigned breakout rooms. And as the organizer, you can hop between the different breakout rooms, a bit like if it was a real-life workshop or class where you'd walk around the room to each table and see how people are getting on. And you don't just need to hop between the rooms. If you need to make an announcement to everybody, as the organizer, you can make an announcement to the whole group, perhaps just to let them know that they've got a few minutes left. And bringing people back at the end is just as easy as starting the breakout rooms. You can choose to close all of the breakout rooms or bring groups back one by one. Breakout rooms are available in the Teams client now. You'll need to, of course, make sure attendees have the latest updates on mobile or in VDI environments, but PC and Mac clients should have updated with this new feature already.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Steve. And breakout rooms have been a long time coming, and I know everyone's been really excited about them. And go out and try them, and they're going to be brilliant. Game changer. Fantastic. Thanks, Steve. So let's take a look and see who we've got behind door number 7. It's my very good friend and colleague, Rue Campbell, who works with me as a technical consultant at Softcat. Rue, what are you going to talk to us about? Take it away.
Howdy, everyone. I'm Rory Campbell, and today I'm going to show you how to protect your Teams, SharePoint, and OneDrive files in a BYOD scenario. We'll be using Microsoft Cloud App Security to create a reverse proxy for Teams, which is going to let us manage the user's session and therefore control what they're allowed to do. In this example, we'll block them from downloading sensitive information. This can only be done on the web-based version of Teams. Therefore, we'll use conditional access to force the use of the web version of Teams as well. Firstly, I'll jump into conditional access, and as you can see, we're going to grant access only to devices that are compliant or hybrid Azure AD joined. We're scoping that to Office 365. Our device platforms are the big desktop operating systems, and our client apps are the desktop clients. We need a second conditional access policy. This is when the user then signs into the web version. We're going to route their traffic through Microsoft Cloud App Security, and we do this through the use of session controls. We go to session, we say we'll use a conditional access app control, and we'll choose custom policy, which means we're going to hand over to Cloud App Security to deliver the policy that we define in there. That policy, if I jump over to Cloud App Security, we go to Control, Policies. We'll choose Create a Policy and a Session Policy. Microsoft give us a template for this, the idea that we can block a download to make our life a little bit easier. If I go down here, we'll see that we can use the data classification service. And in this example, I've said we're going to block downloads based on the credit card number. And we're also going to give the user a customized message to say what we're doing here. If I now jump over as a user, and I log in to Microsoft Teams on the web, the user is going to be told their access to Teams is monitored. And you'll also notice in the URL is being redirected through mcas.ms, which lets me know that it's being reverse proxied through Cloud App Security. As this loads, Cloud App Security and Conditional Access, these are Azure AD Premium P1, and there is a license for Cloud App Security, so keep that in mind. We'll see here, I've got a file here called Credit Card Details. I'll jump in there. You'll see in this example that it's full of credit card information. We don't want to allow users to download that on devices we don't have any management of. I'll go to Options. I'll choose Download. Word's going to download the file for me, or at least it's going to try. What we can see is MCAS instead reports back to me that downloading is blocked based on my organization's security policy. It gives me that customized message, and what it does do is it actually gives me a text file that gives me a little more information about what's happened. So, as you can see, MCAS, tremendously powerful tool for controlling all sorts of allowed or denied activity in Teams and SharePoint. Thanks for your time.
Amazing, thank you, Roo. MCAS, Conditional Access, powerful stuff. Very, very good indeed. Love it. It's only going to improve and get better and better. Okay, let's move on. Who is behind door number 8 in the team's festive calendar? It's Carolina Katakari, Microsoft MVP. Carolina, let's see what you're going to talk to us about.
Hello everyone, and happy 22nd of December. Welcome to the Festive Tech Calendar Teams Edition. I'm Carolina Katakari, and I'm from Finland, as by the way also is Santa Claus. I'm Office Apps and Services MVP, and my work life revolves all around Teams, of course. And today I will give you 3 different megatrends around internal communications with Teams. So megatrend number 1, and actually this is also one of my favorite topics ever, is Internet in Teams. And you should start thinking about your internet in a totally new way, not only with browser in SharePoint, but how you can bring your internet capabilities into somewhere your end users already are. And that's of course in Teams. Also, Microsoft has released the brand new SharePoint application where you can package your internet and bring as an application into the left-hand rail navigation in Teams. That's awesome. The second megatrend next year will be personalized content, maybe also with the help of AI in Teams. So, for example, all your relevant news, tasks, plans in one place, for example in My Page application in Teams, or some other relevant information brought right directly to you in your Teams channels and tabs. And third, but certainly not least, is empowering everyone. And at the moment, most of our internal communications revolves around knowledge workers in the office or remotely, as you can see at my home at the moment. But we have all the capabilities to bring all the communication collaboration to our first line workers and field workers as well, with the help of Teams, of course. So those 3, internet with Teams, personalized content in Teams, and empowering every employee, also your field workers with Teams, will be the 3 top megatrends in internal communications with Teams next year. But I hope you have an awesome rest of the year, and I wish you all very happy holidays. Bye!
Thanks, Carolina. Fantastic stuff. Top megatrends in Teams for 2021. Look out for those. I'm sure there'll be great stuff to come, including those 3 fantastic examples we just saw there. Okay, who are we going to see next? Who's behind door number 9? Reveal yourself. It's a Microsoft MVP, author, and all-around great guy, and my co-author, Nate Chamberlain. Take it away, Nate. What are you going to talk to us about today?
Hello everyone, my name is Nate Chamberlain. Happy holidays. I'm thrilled to be a part of the Festive Tech Calendar this year, and today I'm going to be sharing with you how we can use Planner and Power Automate and Teams together. So my scenario that I'm working with here is that I have a Planner plan for my help desk, and my help desk uses this Planner plan to kind of divvy out tasks related to tickets that they're getting. So this may not apply to every organization, of course, but think about how you might use Planner within your team. And so basically what I want to do is I want to help make sure that the tasks that are coming up due, specifically those due tomorrow, are put in front of my team so that somebody can take responsibility and handle those tasks from the team. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out to Power Automate, and I love this template gallery that we have here. I'm going to search for Planner Teams. I'm just going to put the two apps in there. Okay, we'll wait for that to load. And then the one that I'm looking for is this one, the post a daily message to Microsoft Teams with Planner tasks due tomorrow. So I'm going to click on that one. And it's going to go out, it's going to get my credentials, make sure I can connect to these services. It's got the right credential there. And I click continue. And if yours doesn't look like this right away, it may just ask you to connect to those for the first time. But chances are you're good to go as well. Okay, and then let's just take a look at what it built for us here. We've got a recurrence trigger of 1 day, so every day it's going to go out to Planner, and then for every task that's in a plan, it's going to see is it due tomorrow and not completed, and if that's the case, it's going to post a message to a channel conversation of my choosing that says this task is due tomorrow with the date. So let's go ahead and fill in the blanks here because we need to say which plan it is first. So I'm going to drop this down and I'm going to choose my ticket work plan because that's where I'm referring to here. And then I always like to look at any kind of condition logic because this is how I learn. So if I had to write something like this myself, it'd be a little intimidating, but they've done it for us. So we can just kind of learn from their example here what they're doing. So if we kind of take apart, if I copy this, and I post it into Notepad, we can see it a little bit easier here, and blow it up here. But basically it's saying and, so within the next statements we're about to read, two things are probably going to have to be true. And the qualifier here is equals, so format due date, so the due date, that's all it says basically, equals, remember, the same date plus 1. So is the due date tomorrow? That's all it's doing. Okay, and percent complete, this is the other statement, the and is not 100. So it's taking out, it's removing the items, less items, those that are complete. Okay, so let's get rid of that notepad there. We'll leave that just as it is. I just wanted to show you how they did that. And then for the if yes, we need to choose the team. So for me, that's going to be my help desk team. And for my channel, that's going to be my open tickets channel. All right, and that's all I have to do. Now, as soon as I save this, it's going to go out and run. So let's go back to our planner before we do that. And the only task that's due tomorrow, today is December 20th for me, December 21st. So there's one task here that should show up, and it's updating Steve on the T194 status. Okay, so let's save that. And then let's go to our teams here, and here's my channel. So if it works, there we go, it was pretty quick, right? Task update Steve on T194 status is due tomorrow, and then the date. So one last thing I'd like to do, just to kind of play with it a little bit, is go back to my the formula here, and I want to say, okay, anything that's later than today, because maybe we have a plan that's meant for things that are needing to be taken care of right away. So for that, I'm going to do greater. Whoops. This usually works better in Notepad, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come back here, and we're going to do greater or equals. So like that. I'm going to copy that, paste that in here. I'm going to just arrow up, make sure that looks good. So greater or equal. So anything that's due tomorrow or after. And I'm going to save that. Okay, let me go back, make sure that didn't run automatically. And it didn't, so we're going to go ahead and test it. So we'll do run and run. Okay, and we'll go to teams here. There we go. So we've got build 135, server P1. They're just popping up one at a time here. So the idea is that then my team can come to this channel conversation and they can be like, oh, I've got this one. Tag other people for their attention or whatever the case may be to make sure these get done. So hopefully that helps you figure out ways that you might be able to integrate Planner with Teams using Power Automate. It's super simple. That template saved us a ton of time, and you can see it was up and running, ready to go in no time at all. So happy holidays, take care, stay safe, and thank you so much.
Thanks, Nate. Amazing stuff. Power Platform goodness there. Planner, all in Teams. Tremendous. Love it. Fantastic. We are really plowing through this calendar now. We've only got 3 more to go. Let's waste no time. Who's behind door number 10, if you please? Let's take a look. It's the fantastic Kevin McDonnell of Grey Hat Beard fame, and just like our earlier solutions architect at CPS, I hear that so often on their wonderful podcast. Let's see what Kev's going to talk to us about. Loving the hat.
Hello, my name's Kevin McDonnell. I'm a solutions architect at CPS and the co-host of the Grey Hat Beard podcast. Thank you very much, Peter, for letting me appear in your calendar. I have to admit, it's the first time I've been a chocolate in an advent calendar, so thank you. I'm going to have a quick chat to you all about search within Microsoft Teams. Here you can see, if you click on the search bar, that you can type in Teams and look for all sorts of things. So if you look for Joanna, for example, you can find Joanna and click on her details and see details about her, the chats you've had, all sorts of things. Or if you search for Joanna and click enter, then you can go and see all the places where Joanna is mentioned, whether that's from that person, whether it's where you've talked about her. You can see the different types. And you can use the filters. So if I look for all messages from Megan that mentions Joanna, that I can get those. Or I can clear that out and look at different types, so whether it's chat or by channel. And I can also get even more filters, so whether it's subject, date, team, looking whether it's in my mentions. It helps me to get to the bottom of what I need. But you can also do that for within text. If I do from : Joanna, put a star at the end just in case there's any differences there. I'm going to get back all the messages that I've had that are from Joanna, so I can start to find the information I need. Perhaps I know which channel it's in. If I put in design, then I can see everything that's come through from that design channel that comes there. So I'm starting to get closer to the message I want. Perhaps I know when it was sent, and I can use sent : put in the date, in this case 1st of January, and I'll get all the ones from the 1st of January. Obviously this is fake data, so still getting the same results through, but you get the idea of the kind of things you can do. But it's not just about search. It is just about search. It's also that you can use more advanced search. So say I was looking to get from Grady as well. Now if I put from Grady, obviously you can't have a message that comes from 2 people, but I can use a keyword query language and put or in that, and I'll get the messages from Joanna and the messages from Grady as well. So using KQL, the keyword query language, you can get some really powerful search. But from within that search box, you can also do some other things. So if I clear that search message out, and if I start it with a slash, there's an indication of the kind of things you can do, such as DND, set your status to do not disturb. I don't need to go clicking in menus. I can use my keyboard and type very easily. If I want to look for someone related to something, I can use the Who bot by typing /who and saying, who knows about Mark 8, one of the products in this organization? And it will go and bring up the Who bot and it will type that message automatically and show me who knows about that. So you've got that power of artificial intelligence all from within that search query. If you're wondering about the kind of commands you can do, just type that slash and you've got an indication of all the different commands that are available and what they are. So whether you want to see your saved messages, you want to pop out a chat, you want to do a test call to see what quality is like, all of that is available. So currently, the search is part of Teams, but it's going to be powered in the very near future by Microsoft Search. What does that mean? What differences are you going to see from that? Let's have a look at Bing and see. You can see I've searched for Joanna within Bing and I'm getting the people results. I've selected the work tab up at the top and I'm getting people results and file results from there. But on the left here I have conversations, and there you can see that Microsoft Search is starting to surface those Teams conversations. Yep, much like you get with the team search at the moment, so not a vast difference. But if we have a look for something else, let's look for Mark 8 project team. You'll see that we're getting that Teams logo, but also Yammer. So when you can't remember where you had that conversation, and actually email will be part of this too, you'll get it all in one place with the power of Microsoft Search. So there was a lightning run through of searching Microsoft Teams. You can find all sorts of things out there, including other commands, so do have a look at that and keep an ear out for what's happening with Microsoft Search as well. Otherwise, thank you very much. Have a fabulous Christmas and New Year. Forget about all the woes, enjoy yourself, and hopefully see you in the new year.
Thanks, Kev. Absolutely top stuff. I have learned so much from Kev about Microsoft Search in recent times. Really knows his stuff on that subject, and it's always really cool to hear what's coming and how Microsoft Search will be powering Teams very soon. Also have to give Kev a very, very special shout out to say thanks for helping me to plan this session that we're bringing you today, the Teams Christmas calendar. It's morphed and changed a lot as we've planned this, and Kev really helped me define it and turn it into what it's eventually become. So thank you, Kev. Okay, 2 more to go. Let's see who we have got behind door number 11. Who's it going to be? That's the fantastic Joy Apple, Microsoft MVP. Joy, over to you.
Happy holidays. My name is Joy Apple. In this video, I want to show you just one of the ways that we can use tabs inside of Microsoft Teams to very quickly and easily get to the content in SharePoint that we need access to without cluttering up the Files tab in our team channels. Here I am inside of my HR team in my demo tenant. And you can see I've got channels for some of the primary areas of the HR team for Joy of SharePoint. But as we all know, behind every Microsoft team is a SharePoint site. And on that SharePoint site, I'm going to have a lot of other information that may not be appropriate to bring into a channel inside of Teams. So I can utilize tabs across the top of any of my channels to make it very easy to get to those other resources, such as the home page. But perhaps I also have a library inside of my team site that's connected to Teams. And it's got content and information here that's not really going to be something my team and I are going to actively collaborate on any kind of frequent basis. This is going to be primarily reference content. So what I can do is still utilize my SharePoint team site the way we always have inside of SharePoint to organize, secure, and manage our documentation. But if I have content that I want to make easy to get to from Teams, but not clutter up the Files tab inside of our channels, what I can do is utilize a tab. I'm going to come here and use the Document Library tab. Notice I could go to a SharePoint page or list. I could bring in Excel files. There's a lot of options that I have for a tab inside of Teams. But again, today I'm just going to use my Document Library tab. When I first come in here, I'm going to be given a list of sites that I have access to as an individual. Of course, I want to make sure I'm only tabbing to content that the whole team would have access to. So I'm going to say next. And then what I really want to bring into my general channel is procedures, because it's important for us to make sure we're following the correct procedures as a team. And I want to name it so we all know what the tab takes us to. And I have the option to post to the channel that I'm adding that tab. All right. And now, as a member of HR, when I'm in the HR team, if I'm in general, I have an easy button to take me to procedures. And this is a window directly into the procedures library on the site. And because I have permissions there as a member, I could add new content. I can open up any of these items, edit them, and then save them back. And here's the post letting folks know that I have added a tab to procedures. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found that helpful. Have a wonderful holiday season.
Amazing stuff, Joy. Thank you so much. Some really useful tips there. And I'll definitely be checking those out and making good use of my tabs in Microsoft Teams. So, one more to go. Let's see who is going to be behind door number 12. Who is it going to be? Oh, it's me. No pressure at all, Peter Rising. Some great tips we've just had, so don't let me down, me. Over to me. Okay, 5 minutes until this meeting starts. Another Teams meeting, can't believe it, so many. Yeah, what's on my Christmas Day viewing, what's on? Oh, the Italian Job, you know, I've seen that one. Some Like It Hot. Singing in the Rain. Home Alone 2. Cool thing. Oh. Did not realise the meeting had started. Oh, my camera's on. Oh, hang on, gotta sort that out. Whoop, whoop. Well, that's better. No, hang on, I've turned the camera off. Ah, I'm back. That's great. Right. Sorry, it was on mute. Unbelievable. You'd think after using Teams all year in 2020, I'd be used to it by now and I wouldn't be making these silly mistakes. Unbelievable. Anyhow, let's crack on. My name is Peter Rising. Believe it or not, I'm a Microsoft MVP, but I clearly don't know how to use Teams. I'm going to try and show you some cool things around Microsoft Teams in this quick little session. So let me just try and share my screen with you. Let me see if I can at least do that. Can everyone see my screen? Oh, no, this is not going well. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. Perhaps it's this laptop. I don't know who could help me with this. Maybe is I think who's the most technical person. Is Al early in the meeting? Are you on now? No? Oh, wait. Kevin McDonald? No? Isadora, Captain H. Captain H. Am I the only one in this meeting? Is this meeting even the right time? Oh, what the heck is it? Oh, there's somebody at the door. Hang on. Be right back. Won't be long. Can't believe it. Extreme close-up. So many pulses this time of year, it's unbelievable. Christmas, holiday, crazy times. I literally don't know where we're going to put all this stuff or where I'm going to find the time to deal with it. But this is supposed to be a session about Teams, and it's just been an absolute disaster so far. Unbelievable. So where were we? Let's try and crack on and show you some cool stuff in Microsoft Teams, because we've had some great sessions already in the Festive Tech Calendar. I want to show you some cool stuff. So let's see if I can share the screen again. And I get to put George. No, I'm recording a video. No, 1 second. No, you can't have any food. Not yet. So you've had 5 meals already today. I won't be long. I'll do it after this. Oh, children, teenagers specifically. Only time I ever see him is when he wants food or money. Unbelievable. Right, where was I? Trying to conduct a nice Teams meeting to show everyone on the call some great features of Microsoft Teams. I'm getting flustered. Don't get flustered. I can do this. We can do this. We can absolutely do this. Absolute. The phone's going. Hang on. I do apologize. Just one second. Hello. Yeah. No, Donald, it's not a good time. It's no good crying to me now. Dude, you lost. And you've got 1 month to move out. So just deal with it. Look, I'm recording something. I've got an important thing on. Yeah, all right, if we must. Thank you, Donald. Goodbye. What can you do? Clearly, this has been a disaster. I'm just going to call it there. What we're going to do, we're going to give everybody some time back. Fortunately for you watching, there have been some great, useful sessions already in the Festive Tech calendar. Mine has not been one of them, but at least you get to see this wonderful headgear. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Take care. Oh my goodness, what a way not to end. I sound so depressed and so grumpy in that, and just to reassure anyone, I'm really happy as I record this video, and a little bit of fun there to end with. Hopefully it came across as such, and a little bit of Teams bingo injected in there as well. But this has been the Festive Tech calendar, Teams Christmas calendar, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been great working with all of the great community members to put this together for you, and you can see them on the screen here now. This is all the Twitter handles for everyone in the community who has so kindly and generously given their time to show you some great stuff. Today, Isadora Katanich, Veskin Opanen, Andrew Kemp, Al Earley, Amanda Sterner, Steve Goodman, Ruru Campbell, Carolina Katakari, Nate Chamberlain, Kevin McDonald, Joy Apple, and look you, me as well, Peter Rising. So thank you again for attending so much. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and we'll see you down the road. Bye-bye.